Hello, this is Andre Savoy with High Level Thinkers, and today I want to share with you some content that Facebook just released. And I want to sprinkle in because there's some pretty amazing things in here that they talk about in terms of the shift in consumer behavior. And what's funny is that a lot of what they have in here are things that we have been seeing in campaigns for the last, say, 6 months to a year, and it all kind of dovetails together. And but I want to share it with you because there's some pretty amazing stats in here that I think that you guys would like to know about. So if you're a jewelry store owner, sit back, give me the next 15 or so minutes, and I'm going to walk you through this. So just a quick introduction. I am located in New Orleans, just outside the city. We've been serving jewelry clients for the last 7-8 years, and we've got them all over the country, all kinds. So it's just one of our areas of specialty. You can see my smiling. This is about half my family here on a recent trip to the Bahamas. So just a little something about us. But here's what you guys are here for. Facebook recently released something that they're calling Discovery Commerce. And it's a pretty interesting name. And I wanted to kind of walk through with you the different elements of this. And the first thing I like showing here is just to kind of make sure that you understand that Facebook's platform is really more than just, Facebook. Facebook purchased Instagram, which they own. They also have the Messenger platform, which is becoming an increasingly powerful tool for people to communicate back and forth. As well as WhatsApp. So there's a lot of different tools within the Facebook marketplace in terms of what you can use, and just wasn't sure if you're even aware of those. But the big topic of the discovery today is that over the last couple of years, we've seen that the consumer shopping habits, and this is especially impactful in the jewelry space, but that shopping habits have changed tremendously. And it's not for the reasons that you think. Most of the jewelers that we talk to tell us that they feel like with COVID that people maybe stopped shopping around as much, that people maybe started making more direct appointments, that people wanted to see things online. Those are all legitimate changes, but it's not really the big change that we're talking about. And in this case, the piece that Facebook's identified is that the real shift in consumer behavior is that people are less and less setting a time or a day where they're going to intentionally go out and shop. So if you think about it, it used to be like, okay, shopping is going to be on Saturday, or I'm going shopping tonight. And what we're finding now is that instead of people setting an intention to go shopping, that people are always shopping. That literally every time you pull up your phone, you're going to see something that's going to catch your attention, or that you may be served an ad, or that you may see something that someone's mentioning, or frankly, that you might even ask for help looking for something on there. So instead of kind of like going shopping intentionally, we're now always shopping all day. And if you've ever had the experience where, you got on your phone and then wound up buying something that you hadn't planned on buying before you picked up your phone, that is what we're talking about, that major shift. And really what Facebook's tuned into here is that businesses that are basically getting in front of this trend are the ones that are kind of going to connect with people the earliest, because basically instead of kind of the old way, which was, where people go actively searching for things, that people are now basically using social media, and products are finding you based on your interests. So, and that the activity and the marketing and the intention to find people is actually changed now, because it's going to happen before somebody intentionally sets out to go look for something. Now, if you think about it for a minute, just big picture, the reason that this happens on social media, and this is something that I saw at a presentation from Ryan Dice, who runs Digital Marketer, and he talked about really where each of the major digital platforms falls. But when you think about how people use social media, specifically in this case today, Facebook and Instagram, a lot of it is very similar to their behavior on the radio. So you pick up your scroll. If you're posting something, that's one thing, you're looking for feedback, and that's the benefit of a social network. But really, if you are going to go pick up your phone or even get on your computer to go look at Facebook or Instagram, you're scrolling. You're looking for things that catch your attention. When you catch your attention, just like when you hear a song you like on the radio, you stop changing stations and you'll listen to that song. Maybe you get sick of it, maybe you keep going to the next one, but that's very much like our behavior on social media. And like with radio, a lot of times radio advertising is done with a similar intent of being kind of this discovery commerce where they're trying to get your attention or maybe develop a bond or a relationship with you before you're ready to go shopping. And that way, when you do go shopping, you're more liable to choose that brand because you've heard about them, you know them, you trust them, or you like them based on what you've heard. So that familiarity that's created before the actual sale takes place is exactly what Facebook is tuned into with this new kind of discovery commerce thing. Because really that's how people use social media. I don't go on social media looking to buy an engagement ring today, but if you're looking for an engagement ring and you happen to see an ad that pops up for that, or if you're thinking about getting engaged, then you may be willing to click on that ad and go in and look at it. And it's the same kind of consumer intent. So that's why I want to encourage you, like when we look at things like this, like at a big picture trends, don't dismiss this as something like it's a Facebook gimmick or a social media gimmick, because people have always known, and this is like radio is maybe the oldest form of advertising, you know, that people would buy from somebody that they like and trust. And really that's what radio has been built on since the beginning of time. And frankly, it still works today. So really Facebook and Instagram leverage that same kind of behavior with your marketing. And when you go into it with that mindset, that's when you can have success rather than trying to do things like running ads directly to landing pages like you would from a Google ad or having a YouTube channel or something like that. So that's just the major difference in terms of the mindset. But now exactly how do you do it? And that's what Facebook's got some other answers for in here. So the reality is that, you know, if you think in your mind, maybe, you know, nobody's on Facebook anymore, or all the traffic's on Instagram, or you need to be on Pinterest, Facebook has some pretty astounding statistics here. And basically for people that spend time on their platform, that over almost 3/4 of those people wind up discovering a brand that they had no idea was there. And that's unbelievable that 3 out of every 4 people on Facebook are discovering new brands that they never interacted before. And they're not just discovering them. You'll see that the vast majority of these people actually wind up making a purchase. So I think the thing we have to remember with jewelry is that purchase doesn't always happen in a short time frame, right? A week, 2 weeks, because the nature of jewelry is that people may or may not need jewelry today, or they may have something that they're considering a purchase for, or maybe something's coming up. But ultimately that Facebook ad and that Facebook interaction ultimately contributed to their purchase decision, which the key to running successful social media campaigns, and this is also from the Facebook discovery commerce piece, but really is what they call personalization. And personalization is the experience that you've had when you've mentioned to somebody that maybe we should get pizza tonight and pulled up your phone to find an ad for pizza on your phone. Basically what these social media companies are trying to do is they are trying to serve you content that is more relevant to you, okay? And from their standpoint, from a business standpoint, that helps you connect with people who are in market or who are people who are most likely to engage with your business. And that's how it's supposed to happen organically. But the reality is that with so many businesses on Facebook today, and with the average person having 400 or 500 friends, it's very difficult for Facebook to show enough business and product content to you in addition to the other stuff you want. And that's where advertising comes in. So this is a chart which shows you, this is a client that's, it's a pretty big local jewelry client. I think they've got 20 or 25,000 Facebook fans. But you can see the light orange down at the bottom, which shows the organic reach of their social posts. And you can see it's not bad, but it's not much. So, I mean, you know, on average, less than 5,000 people a day were interacting with their content. And when we use advertising tools, advertising bumps that reach up exponentially. As you can see, it's the lion's share of activity. So the reality is that if you've taken the time and effort to, you know, set up content and to post and be active on social media, if you're not running advertising, or really limiting the number of people who can take advantage of your content and what you have there. And just so that you know, when we talk about advertising, a lot of people tell me when we talk, they're like, well, we boost some posts. And when you boost posts, that is not the same as like running actual ad campaigns on social media. And the main reason is that you don't really leverage the targeting tools for personalization that Facebook offers in order to when you boost a post. So when you run a regular campaign, you have the option to go use those personalization tools to find people who are in market or who are looking for things. And that's all out the window with a boosted post. So if you don't pick up anything else out of them today, I would say just save your money and stop boosting posts. And the other thing that really is important to remember with social media is that because nobody necessarily gets on social media to interact with a brand today to purchase something, you've got to keep in mind that a lot of things happen in between kind of when they first see or get exposed to your brand on social media and when they actually make a purchase. So I love this graph. It just kind of shows the fun nature of basically our distracted lives. Like if you're riding in the car and you happen to click on an ad and see something, you're like, oh, that's cool. You may come back to it the next day or 2 days later, but being able to market to people after they make that initial touch is really critical with social media. It's much more so than like Google ads or something else, because when they're searching to Google ads, they're pretty much ready to hire a jeweler or buy something. But with Facebook, they're just interested. They're expressing an interest. If you remember that initial slide where it says they're showing intent before they're ready to buy. So we need to be able to market to them in between that initial visit and the point at which they're ready to become a customer. And the way that works is through something called retargeting. So if you've ever had the experience where you visited a website and then you saw ads from that business then 2, 3, 4 times over the next week or two, bringing you back to their website, that is how retargeting works. And I'm here to tell you that every smart jeweler we work with, we put this retargeting in place, because people will see an ad initially. They may not be ready to buy, but they definitely will kind of come back a second, third, fourth time to your website in order to get more familiar with your brand, develop that trust, see what your reviews are, see what your financing is, see what other rings you offer. All those kind of things happen during the retargeting period. The other big takeaway from the Facebook findings is that there was a big effort among Facebook and Instagram to make sure that whatever you're doing with people is being done in a mobile-friendly format. With mobile, people want a simple, clean experience. They want to get right to what they're looking for, and they want it to load fast. And that is really what we've done when we learned what's worked best, is that when you're running ads on social media, you really want to try and make it easy for people to shop with you. So we start with ads that speak to the problem that they're having. Like, do they want help? Do they want a consultation? Do they want to see a selection of a certain type? We bring them into a landing page that is very specific to the thing that they clicked on, and ask them a handful of questions that they can answer quickly, that renders well on a mobile device. And then we offer them to set an appointment, and they'll book in to get an appointment time and pick a time where they're picking. So that kind of easy, simple pieces is a totally different experience than dumping somebody into your engagement page on your website and hoping that they can sort through the 2,000-3,000 rings that you might have in inventory, or that they'll figure out how to, do they want to do an appointment today? Oh, I don't know, maybe not, because you've got like 7 or 8 different conversion options on your website. Whereas the way we do it, it's a bit more of a direct experience using this kind of discovery commerce idea, which is, again, an ad that appeals to them, a landing page that's mobile friendly, that loads quickly, that doesn't overwhelm them with choices, and then a simple ending to it, which offers them the logical step that you want to make. And that's what it looks like here. And it gets even better when you layer it in with other things that people want. So you can add a human element by, we have, in our case, a dedicated phone person that once somebody books an appointment or completes a form, they call them immediately to ask them if they need help finding the store, if they have any questions, what their favorite beverage is, so they can have something waiting for them when they come in. And then we also use smart tools for following up. Again, knowing that maybe in between their initial consultation and their appointment, maybe they get busy. So we'll send them a combination of emails, chats, text messages with different warm-up things designed to kind of warm them up to get them ready for the in-store experience. And that really kind of helps add to the personalization of the whole experience, which is ultimately what people want, and what, just as Facebook was saying in their in their document, that people are looking for today. And among the kind of things that make a lot of sense that we run, engagement campaigns for guys, engagement campaigns for women, a little bit different angle. The idea of anniversary diamonds, buying her a diamond for your anniversary. self-purchase campaigns where people, women can come in and buy things for themselves. Lab-grown diamonds, for those of you who are into that space and who have embraced lab-grown, those do very well on social media. And then offers to see things locally, like you want to see something locally or in person, and or do you want to schedule something online, for the national guys. Those are all campaigns that work really well from social media using the kind of discovery commerce framework that Facebook gives you. So I hope this helps today. I went kind of fast because I wanted to just make sure we covered everything. But if you have any questions about how to use the Discover Commerce system in your business, give us a call. We work with jewelers all over the country and actually some internationally now, so which is exciting. But you can see our contact info there, and I hope this helps. Have a great rest of your day.